You have to be very ready with your hand camera because this action can become very fast.
Yes.
In a matter of 3-4 minutes, it could be all over, you know. And I may not be able to talk to you again after this.
On August 21, 1983, former Senator Ninoy Aquino returned to the Philippines after a 3-year exile in the United States. Less than a minute after being escorted out of his plane seat by a team of soldiers, a single gunshot rang out. That shot snuffed out the life of the most dynamic opposition leader of his generation. But it jolted an entire nation out of stupor and timidity and sparked a chain of events that would spell the end of the Marcos dictatorship. 25 years later, memories of the assassination and of Ninoy Aquino have begun to fade. What lingers are faint recollections of a military conspiracy. Beyond that, the circumstances surrounding the murder have remained a mystery. Hello, I'm Tina Monzon-Palma. In this program, we look back at the tragedy and its aftermath. With painstaking research and the aid of computer technology, we hope to find answers to some intriguing questions. Why was Ninoy Aquino killed? Who was ultimately responsible for his murder? And can justice ever be served for so prominent a Filipino? As we seek to answer these questions, we revisit the life of a man whose final journey changed the course of our nation's history forever. Benigno Aquino Jr., the charismatic senator known to millions of Filipinos simply as Ninoy, seemed destined for great things. Born to a political family gifted with prodigious intelligence and an uncanny connection with people, he broke into the scene full of hope and promise. Starting young and learning on the go, he embraced challenges at every turn and rose above adversity, even at great cost to himself.
My dad is a very driven person, no? In the sense that he always felt he would never have enough time to do everything that he wanted to do. So if you talk to anybody who knew him, no, he had a gait while walking that necessitated almost jogging, if not running, by others to keep up with him.
Ninoy Aquino was the quintessential man in a hurry who some say never really got to enjoy his childhood. Neither his career nor his family life went by at a normal pace. The closest he came to a life of normalcy was on the last leg of his life's journey. Ironically, this occurred while he lived in exile with his family from 1980 to 1983 at the outskirts of Boston in the United States. This was after he had spent 7.5 years as the Philippines' most famous political prisoner.
Well, you know, he was just a neighbor to us, but he was a very, very friendly person.
I would be out raking leaves, and it was Ninoy who was out raking leaves for his family. So I would hold leaf bags for him, and he would hold leaf bags for me, and we would fill them with leaves. And similarly, we were both out shoveling snow. So we talked quite a bit. Whereas Cory Aquino was frequently inside. We'd see her sort of through the kitchen window. We'd say hello.
I guess from before martial law, where you don't expect Ninoy, to help you around the house. But now, yeah, he's there to help everybody. And even before that, he was saying, "I'll really try to make it up to all of you."
They were so happy here, and it was a very special place to them. And as Corazon Aquino said, the happiest time of their lives.
Of course, no one expected anything ordinary to come out of the union of Tarlac's two top political and landed families when Ninoy Aquino wed Cory Cojuangco in October 1954, with President Ramon Magsaysay standing as principal sponsor. Despite his pedigree, however, Ninoy wasn't born with a silver spoon. His grandfather, General Serviliano Aquino of the Philippine Revolutionary Army, after being imprisoned as an insurrecto by the Americans, went into farming in Concepcion, Tarlac. Ninoy's father, Benigno Sr., Tarlac representative in the Commonwealth Legislature and Speaker of Parliament during the Japanese occupation, was likewise imprisoned by the Americans as a collaborator. After his father died of a heart attack in 1947, the teenage Ninoy helped his mother, Doña Aurora, with her buy-and-sell business and took on odd jobs, from blacksmithing to carpentry, to support himself. During this time, the precocious and gregarious Ninoy became somewhat of a loner. He cross-enrolled in 3 campuses to get high school over with in less than 3 years. Ostracized as the son of a collaborator, he developed a special bond with an older boy in the same situation, Salvador Doy Laurel.
Parang brothers sila. So, the first time I met Ninoy was when Doy was courting me. And became very useful in the sense that he entertained my father. So Doy and I could have some moments alone in the porch.
Ninoy entered the University of the Philippines intending to take up law, but his lust for adventure brought him to the Manila Times. At the age of 17, he found himself a cub among seasoned reporters covering the Korean War. His stint with the Manila Times also gave Ninoy the chance to observe East Asian developments up close. As he prepared to settle down, Ninoy left journalism to look after the Aquino's hacienda in Concepcion. There he learned not just about farming, but also how to deal with the Hooks, the local communist insurgents who operated mainly in central Luzon. With a personal network that penetrated deep into the underground, as well as official circles, he was able to negotiate the surrender of Hook Supremo Luis Taruc to the government in 1954. This earned the young Aquino a place in the inner circle of President Magsaysay. But given his toughness, sharp wit, and disarming personality, not to mention the Aquino bloodline, Ninoy was inevitably headed toward a political career of his own. Under the Nacionalista Party or NP ticket, he was elected mayor of Concepcion in 1955, but was later disqualified on account of his age. In 1959, he won handily as vice governor of Tarlac. 4 years later, he shifted to the ruling Liberal Party or LP to usher in a new era of development for his province as its youngest governor. Ninoy quickly accumulated guile and experience, not just in local politics, but at the backrooms of the corridors of power. At a remarkably young age, he had served as advisor to 3 presidents. Working with Magsaysay, he imbibed the power of charisma and the common touch while calibrating the undercurrents of American influence. His assignments to study the American spy network, among other secret missions, bred suspicion that Ninoy was an agent of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA. From Carlos P. Garcia, he learned the value of cultivating political relationships at the bottom and the workings of horse trading at the top, and how all these fed into an entrenched culture of graft and corruption. In Diosdado Macapagal, he saw the importance of vision, but discerned a lack of practical grounding to realize lofty goals. As politician and hacendero at the heart of Hook country, Ninoy used Tarlac as his laboratory, testing social, political, and economic ideas distilled from his diverse experiences. His biggest test in this area came in 1957 to 1959 as manager of the Cojuangco's massive Hacienda Luisita. Partnering with the union and seeking expert advice on the sociology of the rural poor, he turned Luisita into what some called a mini welfare state, generous with social services, strong on youth development, and rich in livelihood opportunities to help wean the tenants from gambling and other vices. On the other hand, Ninoy's modus vivendi with the hooks would later give his political opponents reason to brand him a red sympathizer, if not a communist himself. Deciding not to seek re-election in 1967, Ninoy advised the Tarlac mayors to move to the NP behind his cousin-in-law, Eduardo Dandingco Huangco, a shoe-in as the province's next governor. For his part, Ninoy decided that it was time to enter the big leagues. Here he would find himself on a collision course with another master politician and lawyer, the man first elected president in 1965, Ferdinand Marcos.